At 4:01 a.m., Chance Barrett made a choice that would destroy his life. He didn't know that the choice was being recorded. 1 minute later, Edgar Granados was dead. And between those 60 seconds, everything changed. This is the story of how one tiny digital mistake solved a murder that seemed impossible. July 12, 2024, North Austin. Inside a house on Gray Ledge Drive, Edgar Granados, a 31-year-old high school teacher, was stabbed to death in complete darkness. Police arrived at 4:02 a.m. Chaos and confusion greeted them. Edgar was gone and the killer had vanished. Yet someone remained inside who shouldn't have been there. Chance Barrett. Nervous and shaking, he stood in the house he once called home, though he'd moved out months ago. Why was he there at 4 a.m.? Detectives faced questions without answers. No one had witnessed the attack. No physical evidence singled out a suspect. The killer seemed to have vanished into the night for good. However, deep in the digital world, buried in the data most people overlook, one small slip was waiting to unravel everything. Detectives pieced together what they knew. Barrett and Edgar had once been roommates but fell out over money. $3,000. That's what Barrett believed Edgar owed him. Was that really the value of a life? Months went by. Barrett, growing bitter, decided July 12th was the moment for revenge. He planned it with care, watching Edgar's habits. He picked early morning hours when neighbors were sure to be asleep and believed he was ready. Yet, amidst this careful planning, Barrett overlooked one thing. Every app on his phone was watching his every move, recording each action in real time. With no eyewitnesses and no physical evidence, detectives knew they needed help from the digital world. They filed for a Google warrant to access all of Barrett's online records. They requested his Uber history from that night. They demanded his iCloud data, notes, messages, everything. Because here's the thing about 2024, every action creates a permanent record. When you call an Uber, the app records the exact time and location. When you write a personal note, Apple's servers back it up automatically. When you move through the city, cell towers track your location. Barrett thought the darkness would protect him. He didn't realize that technology companies had already recorded his every move. Detective Santos sat at her desk late at night, scrolling through thousands of Uber records. Coffee cold, eyes burning. Then she saw it. July 12th, 4:01 a.m. The pickup location flashed on her screen. Gray Ledge Drive, the exact house, the exact address. Her hands started shaking. She checked the 911 call log. The stabbing was reported at 4:02 a.m. 1 minute, 60 seconds separated the Uber request from Edgar's death. Barrett had called for his escape while Edgar was still bleeding out. She walked to her supervisor's desk and said the words every detective dreams of saying, "We have him." But the Uber timestamp was only the beginning. When detectives accessed Barrett's iCloud storage, they found something even more shocking: personal notes that Barrett had written to himself. These weren't random thoughts. These were confessions hiding in the cloud. Notes that mentioned Edgar Granados by name. Notes that referenced a master plan. Notes that talked about an early morning stakeout. This wasn't a crime of passion. This was calculated murder. Barrett had been planning this for weeks. He'd been watching Edgar's routines. He'd chosen the perfect time. He'd written his plans down and stored them in Apple's servers, not realizing those servers would become evidence against him. When police first arrived at the crime scene, they found Barrett inside the house. He was acting strangely nervous. The homeowner told detectives about his unusual behavior. His hands were shaking. His voice was different. He couldn't look officers straight in the eye. This wasn't nervous behavior hours later. This was real-time guilt. His body was confessing what his mouth wouldn't say. He was caught between committing murder and trying to escape. Every piece of evidence was now pointing to one undeniable truth. Chance Barrett killed Edgar Granados. The evidence was overwhelming, undeniable, impossible to explain away. With the Uber timestamp, the cloud notes, and his nervous behavior all pointing in the same direction, prosecutors knew they had an overwhelming case. But here was the problem. No jury had ever convicted someone based only on digital evidence. No eyewitnesses, no confession, no weapon, just timestamps and cloud notes. Would a judge even allow it? Would 12 people believe a phone's GPS more than a person's word? Prosecutors had the evidence, but did they have a case that would hold up in court? They were about to find out. On February 27, 2026, nearly 2 years after the murder, a judge issued a first-degree murder warrant for Chance Barrett. First-degree murder means the crime was planned, not accidental. It means Barrett had time to think about what he was doing and did it anyway. His bail was set at $100,000. The case had moved from investigation to prosecution. Now it would move to trial. Barrett would face a jury, and that jury would decide his fate. Here's the unsettling truth. The same technology that solved Edgar's murder can also control people. The same digital surveillance that brought justice for Edgar could be used to oppress anyone. We now live in a world where governments and companies know where you go, what you search, what you write, and who you talk to. One Uber request at 4:01 a.m. solved a murder that seemed impossible to solve. No eyewitnesses, no confession, no weapon, just a timestamp, just data. Barrett thought darkness would protect him, but the digital world never sleeps. It recorded everything: his location, his plans, his escape. The perfect crime is now a myth. In the digital age, one small mistake exposes everything. Technology gave Edgar's family justice, but it also showed us that nothing is hidden anymore. We live in a world where nothing is forgotten. The question is, what will we do about it? Will we accept this loss of privacy to catch more killers? Or will we demand privacy back, even if it means some crimes go unsolved? These are the questions we need to answer now. Barrett thought darkness would hide his crime. Instead, one Uber timestamp exposed everything. Edgar got justice, Barrett got consequences, and we learned that in the digital age, nothing stays hidden. Technology can solve crimes, but it can also control lives. Subscribe if this case shocked you. What scares you more? Digital surveillance or unsolved murders? Comment below. The answer matters.